advocate for girls' access to education worldwide is the youngest person ever to be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Her new book is called I Am Malala, the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. Please welcome to the program, Malala Yousafzai. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me.
It is an honor for us. I know me. This is, by the way, we've talked a little bit before the show. Nothing feels better than making you laugh. I will say that. Well, I enjoyed that very much. I am Malala. It's honestly humbling to meet you. You're 16. Where did your love for education come from?
We are human beings, and this is the part of our human nature, that we don't learn the importance of anything until it's snatched from our hands. And when in Pakistan, when we were stopped from going to school, at that time I realized that education is very important, and education is the power for women. And that's why the terrorists are afraid of education. They do not want women to get education, because then women would become more powerful.
Exactly right. When did the Taliban come to Swat Valley? Because before then, you describe it as a paradise of sorts.
Taliban came in 2004, but at that time they were quite good. They did not show the terrorism, and they did not blast any school at that time. But they started the real terrorism in 2007. They have blasted more than 400 schools in Swat. They have slaughtered people, and in the month of January 2009, they used to slaughter even 2-3 people every night, and they have flogged women. We have seen the barbaric situation of the 21st century, and we have seen like the cruelty, and we have seen harsh days in our life, and those we regarded as the darkest days of our life. So it was really hard for us at that time.
You describe in the book, still, no matter what, they took the signs off of schools. They went underground, but they continued in the face of, you spoke out publicly against the Taliban. What gave you the courage to continue this?
You know, my father was a great encouragement for me, because he spoke out for women's rights. He spoke out for girls' education. And at that time, I said that why shall I wait for someone else? Why shall I be looking to the government, to the army, that they would help us? Why don't I raise my voice? Why don't we speak up for our rights? The girls of Swat, they spoke up for their rights. I started writing diary. I spoke on every media channel that I could, and I raised my voice on every platform that I could. And I said, I need to tell the world what is happening in Swat, and I need to tell the world that Swat is suffering from terrorism, and we need to fight against terrorism.
When did you realize the Taliban had made you a target?
When in 2012, I was with my father, and someone came and she told us that, have you seen on Google that if you search your name and the Taliban have threatened you? And I just could not believe it. I said, no, it's not true. And even after the threat, when we saw it, I was not worried about myself that much. I was worried about my father, because we thought that the Taliban are not that much cruel that they would kill a child, because I was 14 at that time. But then later on, I used to I started thinking about that, and I used to think that the Talib would come and he would just kill me. But then I said, if he comes, what would you do, Malala? Then I would reply myself that, Malala, just take a shoe and hit him. But then I said, if you hit a Talib with your shoe, then there would be no difference between you and that Talib. You must not treat others that much with cruelty and that much harshly. You must fight others, but through peace and through dialogue and through education. Then I said I'll tell him how important education is, and that I even want education for your children as well. And I'll tell him, that's what I want to tell you, now do what you want.